Blessings, beloved. I wanted to take a moment and talk with you regarding a section of the Psalms known as the Songs of Ascents. There are 15 of these, and they start at Psalm 120 through Psalm 134. They are short and pithy and pretty straight to the point. They employ a technique that I love that is known as anaphora, that has to do with repetition, which makes them is what makes them punchy and makes them memorable and engaging. So, for example, Psalm 124 says, using a sentence anaphora, "If the Lord had not been on our side," let Israel now say, "If the Lord had not been on our side." Beautiful, right? And then just a little later in that same chapter, he uses the word then as anaphora and says, "Then they would have swallowed us up. Then the waters would have overwhelmed us. Then the proud waters would have gone over our soul." So we see that word then being employed in that literary technique that makes it, again, rhythmic and very memorable. So the Song of Ascents, as the title implies, has to do with ascension. There is a change in elevation. It may be stairs or steps or stories in a building. It may be going from a lower elevation geographically to a higher elevation. But regardless, there is a change whereby one goes from a lower state to a higher state. And I think this is really important for us right now. I get to walk with a lot of you through this journey, and in my Zahar group, we are reading through the Bible and are approaching Psalm 120 here in the next day or so. And I realize and acknowledge that a lot of you are in a difficult place. A lot of you are down in the doldrums, down in the valley, stuck in the mire. And how wonderful that the Lord would bring us and invite us to a song of ascents just in time. We are at a place in our world where anxiety is just rife all over our hearts and in our minds, where distress and just discombobulation rules everywhere you look, and so much trouble, and people going through difficulties and needing help from the Lord. It was fascinating to me to learn that pilgrims would chant or sing these psalms as they approached Jerusalem, which was up on a hill. And so as they started to rise towards the temple and towards Jerusalem, they would sing these 15 songs. It may also have been that while they were climbing the 15 steps that led to the temple, they would sing or chant these psalms. So we see the number 15 occurring twice, and that piqued my attention and curiosity. And I learned after looking into it that the number 15 has to do with healing after a time of distress. It has to do with deliverance. It has to do with restoration. How timely for us to be entering these Psalms and have the Lord invite us to a place of healing. Have the Lord invite us to a place of restoration. Have the Lord invite us to a place of rest after a difficult time. So I invite you to a change in elevation in your soul and in your spirit and in your life, as the Lord is inviting you through His Word to come and have an encounter with Him so that your soul may find rest. We are so weary, and He is offering us His joy and His rest. And so as we go into the Songs of Ascent, I pray that you will go into them and that this piece of information will renew your interest in them and open perspectives that you may not have considered before. And so go and find your healing. Go and find your rest. Find your restoration and your deliverance in the Songs of Ascents, and find a change in elevation from the mire and from the doldrums, from the anxiety. Look up to the Lord and find your healing, your joy, your restoration and be richly blessed to his glory. Amen.